And then when they eventually do come, it's like 5 or 3 buses all at the same time. And if you miss it, you're done. You have to wait like 40 minutes. And especially in the winter, it's horrible because you're only planning to wait like 10 minutes or something for a bus, and then unexpectedly you have to sit there in the cold, freezing your butt off for like 40 minutes.
Especially for older people.
Yeah, especially for older people. It's horrible. I don't know why the MTA is doing this.
That's all over the place, bro.
It's really, really messy.
Он просто сказал, что эти автобусы, их можно стоять, ждать 40 минут, и приходят сразу 3 автобуса. А потом после этого пропустишь еще 40 минут. И я хожу в школу Бклyn, я каждый день беру 36-й автобус. Иногда я опаздываю не потому, что автобусы медленные, а потому, что они просто не приходят. Может, я на остановке подхожу 20 минут, и сразу 3 автобуса приезжает. Иногда они просто остановки пропускают. И опять надо ждать. И я знаю очень много людей, они сказали про 82-й автобус, его как бы останавливать. Я знаю очень много людей, они этим автобусом добираются домой. Вся эта школа, если эти автобусы не будут доходить до Кони-Айленда, это будет столько проблем для столько людей. Они просто...
I just want to say that the complaints about bus budging, bus budging have been happening since I was your age. When I did a survey in 1978, we surveyed 8,000 bus riders. The chief complaint was the buses budget, they don't come on time. Let me tell you the reason for this. The MTA used to have maybe 600 bus dispatchers out on the street whose job was to regulate the buses. They never did really a good job. But when the MTA started looking for ways to cut, before they cut service, they cut the dispatches.
Почему вы знаете, когда автобусы идут один за другим? Проблема еще с 1978 года. Почему, когда МТА делает сокращение, они сокращают диспетчеров. Это расстояние между автобусами должны регулировать диспетчеры, которых практически нет. So you have to move on now. Craig Hammerman wants to say a few words, and I will be translating.
Привет. Я Craig Hammerman. Я сосед.
Он сосед.
Sosiyet.
It looks like, Greg, it looks like your Russian also should be translated.
Yes, please, thank you. So two things. First, a quick point. I know that we've been talking about bus stops in general, but in Brighton Beach, there's one particular bus stop that I want to highlight because it's extremely important to the neighborhood. Brighton 12th Street and Brighton Beach Avenue, right around here. This is the stop where the Master Theater is. The Master Theater has 1,300 seats. And when people come to see performances there, they use public transit to get there. This is one of the stops that they want to cut. And this is one of the stops that Brighton 12th Street, right now, yes, at the Master Theater.
Which bus stop? What's the name of the bus?
Oh, that's the B1 stop. That's a B1 stop.
Near the theater.
Yes, right at the corner where the theater is, please.
То есть Крэг говорит, что рядом с театром, который находится на Брайтон-Бич-авеню, собираются убрать остановку. На минуточку представьте себе 13 тысяч мест в театре.
1200.
1400 мест в театре, и остановка собирается убрать.
Of all the bus stops in the whole neighborhood, this is an extremely important one. And we should be objecting to that particular bus stop. My second point, which is much more broad, is really a question for Mr. Rose, and thank you for being here with us. The Coney Island corridor is primarily a commercial corridor with some residential uses overlaid. The Ocean Avenue corridor is primarily a residential corridor, medium density housing, and the people from Ocean Avenue, which are houses, a lot of them are going to Kingsborough, which is students. Students come from houses. They don't come from a commercial corridor, Coney Island. So I was wondering if you could help explain maybe what the rationale was for the MTA to do this flip-flop, number one, and number two, have we heard, because I've heard some rumors, but I don't know that it's been substantiated, has Kingsborough weighed in on any of this, and do they have an opinion to share? So the rationale behind the flip-flop and feedback from Kingsborough, please.
Kingsborough is very much against it. I've spoken to somebody there, and they're deeply, the students are deeply against it.
We need to translate.
Yes, please.
Окей, речь о чем шла? Речь о том шла первое. Вот из театра Миллениум Ашана, я уже запуталась в этом названии. Да. Неткост. Там была остановка, ее снимали. Есть, вот что Грег еще не сказал, я вот. Значит, остановки, вот, допустим, 49-й, он идет по Брайтону. Будет остановка где-то в районе Кони-Айленд и Брайтон, но у меня голос громкий, команда. Где-то остановка Кони-Айленд и Брайтон, а потом аж на 14-м Брайтон. Но вот этот великий 68-й, который сделает чисто аварийную ситуацию на Кони-Айленд и Брайтон, он будет, скорее всего, останавливаться возле банка, где я когда-то имела честь 20 лет просидеть, окей? Что это значит? Это значит, что машины, траки, мы тоже commercial Brighton, траки и машины, которые поворачивают в Кони-Айленд налево, не смогут проехать. Это первое. Второе, у нас заберут еще 4-5 парковочных мест. Okay. What I add to your Brighton 12 stuff, I'm talking about 68. If it's gonna be making left turn toward Manhattan Beach, most probably for the transfer, they will make stop by the bank, not only taking parking spots away and on, but also making turn for other cars from Coney Island to Brighton, like trucks, because we are also commercial channel, okay?
Yes.
Very dangerous. That's what I'm trying to say.
Excuse me, it will be from Tashkent magazine, it will be in the...
Okay, Tashkent и налево, не направо, а налево.
I think it's attracting,
Sure, so.
I think that what the city, it might be attracting people from like Sunset Park area, if they on buses coming that way, they will connect with the 68 and go to the college. But it's like 49, I was like, okay, it's like they wanna switch over to New York Avenue or something. I mean like how they have the route, and they wanted to connect with the Long Island Railroad and Nostrand, but it's, I mean, I think it's beyond just.
It might be, when we are talking about, when we are talking about big picture, it might be some good, bad, whatever ideas. But with residents, local residents, we are talking about small picture and everyday issues.
So you're talking about like south, anywhere south of like Kings Highway?
South from Kings Highway, yeah.
South from Kings Highway.
Because what's going on, people, okay, look at those people. They don't drive, okay? They don't drive. They would love to use subway, but
They can't.
there is no way, they cannot climb upstairs. The even escalator we have in Brighton 7 never works. Plus, in addition, they still have to climb upstairs. So it doesn't make any sense. Bus is the only option.
I'd like to answer that gentleman's question.
Thank you.
What I think is the rationale. Prior to 1978, the old B1 used to follow where the 49 goes, and it went up to Avenue X and across, and it ended at 25th Avenue. The B49 just went straight along Ocean Avenue and didn't go to Sheepshead Bay Station, because the B1 did that. When I changed the B1, I rerouted the 49 to the Sheepshead Bay Station to replace it. At that time, it added about 5 to 7 minutes to the bus route. So it was no big deal. But over the last 40 years, traffic has got significantly worse. And today it can add as much as 15 minutes, which really isn't fair for the through riders. So the MTA wants to make it faster. They could go back to the old route, but then people would complain, the 49 is not going to the Sheepshead Bay Station. Well, so I think they feel that by going to Collin Avenue into the college, that route's quicker than going past Sheepshead Bay Station. I think they're wrong, because all the traffic on Collin Avenue, you could get stuck 10 minutes between Western Avenue and Collin Avenue. So you can have just as much traffic at the Brighton Beach Station as you have at the Sheepshead Bay Station, which is why I proposed sending the 44 SBS straight to the college, because that would avoid all the traffic, and the only people who would be on the 49 are the people who mostly need the station. As far as your comment with the apartment houses, well, the MTA doesn't look at it in that much detail. If anybody who lives along Ocean Avenue could walk the 10 blocks and use Coney Island Avenue instead. They don't realize that especially elderly people don't want to walk an extra half mile. They can't walk an extra half mile. Even for the kids, it's a pain, and when the weather's bad. So they're not really doing it to help you.
Oh, sir, what you mentioned about bad weather, actually, they should build more bus shelters.
Вот
Oh yeah, speaking of, I'm glad you mentioned that. If you could please recommend a bus shelter on Brighton Beach Avenue, eastbound. I don't know why there's no bus. There really should be a double bus shelter there. There's like 50 people waiting in the morning. In fact, when I have to get to B1 there, I can't stand and wait. I walk to Frank 12th Street to stop thinking to eliminate, because I can sit over there. So please recommend a bus shelter. A double bus shelter.
Is there any plans for people about this scheme and MTA may make any changes or not? Имеется много замечаний о том, что они меняют. Нет, я просто спрашиваю. Мы что, возмущаемся, пишем письма, что нам это не нравится?
Да.
Is there any claims
Да, это есть. Да.
Уважаемые товарищи, во-первых, я хочу сказать большое спасибо Аллану, что он много лет тому назад сделал для нас такое прекрасное сообщение, что мы до сих пор рады и счастливы. Это первое. Второе, значит, я понимаю так, что Америка страна, которая заботится о своих гражданах, которая старается создать больше сервисов, а здесь получается все наоборот. Вы сами говорите о том, что очень много недостатков. Так зачем же такой проект его осуществлять, когда он принесет только много неприятностей? Во-первых, на Брайтоне живут очень много пожилых людей, которые имеют и внуков, и правнуков. И все они очень учатся. Почему? Потому что МТС ведут себя неправильно. Они вместо того, чтобы...
Мы доверяем вот то, что она предложила.
Дайте говорить до конца. Вместо того, чтобы сделать подъемник где-то в районе Кони-Айленда, они начинают переворачивать то, что уже отработано годами, и то, что устраивает людей. Экономию надо искать в другом. Если вы сделаете подъемник, то вы разгрузите транспортные сети. Да. Это первое. Второе. Если вы сделаете, опять, если не хватает автобусов, или это не нужно, почему ходят, сколько сходит спаренных автобусов, это безобразие просто. Вот это экономия. Да, спасибо большое, это очень важно. Наши ADA accessibility, I mean, right now we're talking about the lack of ADA accessibility. That's why people can't use subway. So sometimes the buses is not the alternative to the subway. That's the only means of transportation that our seniors can use. So by eliminating buses, eliminating bus stops is not helping us at all. It doesn't help our economy. And what you see here is a switch in the room. It's much worse. I want to show you something. I want to show you what they propose to do from the Stillwell to Seagate. It's even worse. Ann Valdez will talk about it because she's from there. It's really, they eliminated 50% of the stops.
Okay. Now this is the situation we're talking about. I understand the 36 is very important to you as well as it is to me. The 68 is important to me as well. And I used to go to Kingsborough. So when I went to Kingsborough, I had an opportunity. From the 36, I could decide whether I want to take the B1 or the B49 into Kingsborough. It was a good option because it kept me so that I wouldn't be late for classes. All right, now the way they want to do it and do all the switching makes no sense whatsoever. Really no sense. It's too much on the 68. It's putting the 49 in the wrong direction, way out of its way. It just confuses the whole matter. But with the 36, what we all have in common here, pretty much, is ludicrous.
You need to
all
go
right.
to Kings Plaza with 36 so that you can connect with Rockaway down there.
Yeah, well, that's another alternative. That's what I'm saying. That's an alternative later. But the thing is, we don't want them to change it now. Right now, leave it as it is so that they understand how important it is to this particular community. All right? To make any changes or extensions thereafter is not such a big deal at the moment. Right now, the way that they want to do it and they're taking stops away is ridiculous. They want to take away a stop that's all the way on West 5th Street where Seabreeze begins, all right, which is ridiculous. Where are everybody over there supposed to go if they take the 68 from over there? They have to walk too far. A lot of the people in that community are wheelchairs, walkers, students. It's ridiculous. Now, we in Coney Island have it even worse because with us, they want to remove so many stops that it becomes dangerous for, again, for the disabled, as well as the elderly, as well as the students. I'll give you a good example. All right, on the 68 route in Coney Island, once it gets to Stillwell, all right, the next stop would be 17th Street. From Stillwell to 17th Street is already 3 very big blocks. Okay, 2 to 3 very big blocks.
4.5, actually 3.5.
Yeah. Then, after 17th Street, right now, the next stop would be somewhere around 20th Street, 21st Street. Right? 19th Street, sometimes they'll stop around there because we have no 18th Street. Okay, that would be a stop. It would go from 17th straight to 21st. And then comes 23rd Street. Okay, at 21st Street, a lot of people would understand that's where the Medicaid office is. They want to move that over to accommodate, and I don't know who they're trying to accommodate. 23rd Street, you have public housing, 3 buildings, right? And 21st Street. It's not public housing, but you have big buildings. Altogether, the amount of people who live there, we're talking about over 2,000 people, right in the public, right in the buildings. They want to remove the bus stop on 23rd Street. So people would go from 21st Street and have to go, and they want to take away the stop on 25th Street.
Oh, yeah, make people more vulnerable.
No,
Yeah.
let me translate a little bit. So we're talking about Coney Island. Мы говорим сейчас про западную часть Кони-Айленда. Почему для нас это важно? Там живет очень много пенсионеров, русскоязычных пенсионеров. И вот как раз рядом с их домами предлагают убрать остановки. Поэтому нам важно об этом говорить. И с некоторыми домами, вот, допустим, называется Site 4 and 5, вот рядом, допустим, nursing home, да, мы пометили. Вот nursing home. Рядом с nursing home убирают остановки. Ну вот как это возможно? В этом случае убирают остановку даже с 2 сторон. То есть поэтому нам нужно говорить свое мнение, поэтому мы собираем petition. Поэтому тем, кто может зайти на интернет, подсоединиться к Zoom, подсоединяйтесь, пожалуйста.
Is it going to be this meeting the gentleman mentioned on Tuesday, in one Broadway, whatever.
Two Broadway, yeah.
Two Broadway. Is it going to be in person or?
That would be in
He said
person.
okay.
That's what he
But
wants
it's
to
not
do.
gonna be Zoom connection. Can you
No,
find-
there's gonna be a Zoom also on the 21st.
No.
No,
I'm talking about the same meeting.
No.
But there is a very small window.
Yeah, the community board, no, their meeting is also Zoom.
Okay.
But he wants us, he wants a group of.
Community board.
No, not the
meeting-
community board meeting, the MTA meeting is also Zoom. But because people tend to have a problem with Zoom,
Okay.
that was the
What
reason
time
why he
now?
wanted.
10 o'clock?
No, yeah, it starts at 10.
Okay.
That's why he
Well,
wants.
like,
That's
if
why you should
have-
come at 9.
If you have, I'm not gonna go to Manhattan, but if you have 2 or 3 people who would like to come to my office on Tuesday at 9:45 to be connected to the Zoom, you're very welcome. Если вы найдете людей, которые, вы придете в мой новый офис, большой, красивый, с кофемашиной, с конфетами, всем дают.
Я не знаю.
Если хотите, да, о, моя